Hello, I'm Peter Dowd in for John White.
And I'm Karen Devine. Tonight live at 6.
PACT Act is the least we can do for the countless men and women, many of whom may be in this room for all I know, who suffered toxic exposure while serving their country.
The PACT Act, which will help veterans exposed to toxins overseas, is now signed into law. News Channel 3's John White is live in our nation's capital tonight with more on this bill and how it honors the life of local veteran Jennifer Kepner.
Plus, I'm Jake Ingracio with more coming up on the growing concern in Valley communities about stopping monkeypox spread before major Pride celebrations less than 2 months away.
You're watching KESQ, the desert's news leader. This is News Channel 3, live at 6.
A local veteran remembered today at the White House with the signing of the Honoring Our PACT Act by President Biden.
John White first brought you this story about Jennifer Kepner in 2017, and today he was there as this bill was signed into law. And John joins us now live from the nation's capital with more on this. John, what can you tell us?
Well, Karen, Peter, we are here in the nation's capital. We were at the White House earlier today and now at the U.S. Capitol, all because of local veteran Jennifer Kepner. As you know, 5 years ago, she shared her story with me. At about that same time, she was sharing her story about cancer and toxic burn pit exposure with local Congressman Dr. Raul Ruiz and others.
And may God protect our troops. Now I'm going to walk over and sign that legislation.
President Biden signing the Honoring Our PACT Act, a long battle waged by local Congressman Dr. Raul Ruiz in honor of Jennifer Kepner and many others, culminating in a major expansion of veterans' benefits. I was there for the signing in the East Room and then talked with the congressman on the North Lawn of the White House.
Jennifer Kepner was the ultimate fighter who till her last breath was fighting for other veterans, and she became a very strong source of inspiration for me, and it's in her honor and her family's honor that we got this done.
The congressman also celebrating with comedian and activist Jon Stewart in this video at the bill signing.
This guy would come out to the press conferences, spit fire, spit facts, crush it.
Jon Stewart was the game changer in this moment, in the name of Jennifer Kepner and the Kepner family and all those veterans that we fought for.
Stewart heavily involved in fighting for veterans, getting wide praise from the president.
And we owe you big, man. We owe you big.
And from veterans groups.
You often see some kind of superstars show up here to grab attention and testify. They really don't know what they're talking about. This is a guy that it goes much deeper than even this issue.
But the day really belonged to those who fought for their country. Captain Leroy Torres has battled for 13 years, struggling with his health, losing his job, fighting for benefits.
When I first I had my lung biopsy in 2010, and they discovered that I had a lung injury, the constrictive bronchiolitis with peribronchial fibrosis. That in itself, just hearing that it was irreversible and it's permanent, then to facing job loss. So not only, it was such a compound loss, not only with my health, but then losing my job because of war-related illness.
He was with President Biden for the signing.
I presented him one of our coins of Burn Pit 360 as a sir in honor of Bo and the many affected that are no longer here, to present you this coin. And just that was.
And then show him your coin he gave you.
Oh, then he swapped.
I think Leroy reminded him that there was coins.
So then he presented me his coin. So
his wife Rosie Torres started the organization Burn Pits 360 to fight for veterans who believed they were getting sick because of those burn pits. Veterans like Jennifer Kepner, who left her this voicemail.
Well, I'm definitely interested in what you have to say and trying to figure out what my next step is.
So she really, planted her flag on that platform and said, until my last breath, I'm going to fight. And that's exactly what she did.
It was her dying wish. And while she knew she was dying, she asked me to help other veterans not to go through what she went through. And that is very selfless, and that is a hero in my book.
An emotional day at the White House here in the nation's capital. Congressman Ruiz invited Jennifer Kepner's husband, Ben, to be here for the White House signing today. Unfortunately, he was not able to make it, but she certainly was remembered here for helping to get the discussion started at a time where Dr. Ruiz did not know a lot about burn pits, and so it took time for people to learn and get caught up to speed on what was happening to a lot of the veterans in this country. Live at the Capitol, John White, News Channel 3.
And you certainly had a hand in that, bringing the community that story in 2017. So, John, what happens next?
Well, there's a lot of discussion today about now getting the word out and trying to let millions of veterans know that these benefits are going to be available if they have one of these presumptive illnesses that will automatically be connected to their service time. And so there's a big effort now, kind of a public relations push, and people who think that they may have one of these illnesses can go to the VA's website and begin that process. And you can find a link to that on our website, KESQ.com.
Powerful story, John. Thanks.
Good reporting from D.C. Thank you, John. Our in-depth coverage continues now. As we have reported, the purpose of the PACT Act is to help veterans exposed to toxins while serving and their families get the health care and benefits they need. But how do you go about applying for these benefits?
Well, if you are a veteran and have not filed a claim yet for an illness that the PACT Act links to toxic exposure, you can file a new claim online now. We have a link to that on KESQ.com.
If you filed a claim previously and were denied, but now you think your condition makes you eligible, you can file a supplemental claim. The VA says that they will preview and review that claim again.
An important note to keep in mind, although the VA is encouraging veterans who are eligible to apply as soon as they can, the claims will not be processed until January, so you will have to wait. Officials say they are waiting for funding to arrive from Congress. But if you apply now and get approved, they will likely backdate your benefits to today.
News Channel 3's live coverage in Washington, D.C. is supported by the Coachella Valley Journalism Foundation and does not end here tonight. You can find a full breakdown of the changes veterans can expect and links to help you apply, along with all of John White's I-Team investigations with Kepner on this issue, right now on KESQ.com.